Welcome to the Beer Geek on non-alcoholic beers. Cue the music. Low-alcoholic beers get a bad rap from most people. I guess that's everyone except those that are people like members of the Association of Non-Alcoholic Lagers, Beers Under Traditional Technique Society, or the Alcohol Reduction Society of England. Non-alcoholic beer's aim is, as you'd expect, to reproduce the flavour of beer, but with none of the inebriating effects of alcohol. Most are lagers, although there are a few ales, and in the UK there are three different types. Non-alcoholic, or alcohol-free, can contain up to 0.05% ABV. De-alcoholized, that just rolls off the tongue, can be over 0.05% but no more than 0.5% ABV. And low alcohol beers can be up to 1.2% ABV. Low alcohol beer dates back to medieval England when it was served as a alternative to the horrendous water at the time, and a cheaper alternative to the beer that would be sold at festivals. During Prohibition in the USA, many brewers happily stayed in business by producing non-alcoholic beers, simply by adding one extra step. And then when Prohibition ended, all they needed to do was remove that step and carry on producing their alcoholic beer. It's obviously a good thing in a way that it allows you to drive after a few beers, doesn't have the damaging liver and kidney effects, and doesn't really give you a hangover. There are downfalls, however. The most general complaint is the lack of true beer flavour, as well as a more sugary content and a shorter shelf life. How do you make beer that looks, smells and sort of tastes like beer but with none of the alcoholic effects? It's pretty simple. Low alcoholic beer starts out as normal beer and is simply boiled to reduce some of the alcohol. Alcohol's boiling point is 78.3 degrees Celsius, whereas water's is 100, so all you need to do is boil it up to the alcohol and let some alcohol evaporate off, and you've got a reduced alcohol beer, with extra water being added to account for the 4% loss in volume. Once the alcohol is removed, then you carry on with the process as normal with carbonation and bottling. So the beers for today, you might have seen here I've bought some of the most widely available and popular non-alcoholic beers around. I have to say, beyond this selection, there isn't really that much, even on online beer sites and in craft beer shops. We've got two of the best-selling non-alcoholic beers here in the UK. We've got Becks Blue, and we've got the Bavaria. This is actually the Vit Beer version, but the Bavaria 0.0% is also a very popular beer. We've also got Klaus Tyler. This is the most popular non-alcoholic beer across the whole of Europe, and is from the Binding Brewery in Frankfurt. We've got one of my favourite breweries, BrewDog's Nanny State. It's an ale, and it's low alcoholic. The BrewDog brewery is based in Aberdeen, and this beer in particular is dry hopped with such hops as Centennial, Amarillo, Columbus and Cascade. Finally, we've got the Erdinger Alcoholfrei. You've probably heard of Erdinger before. They produce some great German beers, but this one's a bit weird. On its website, it's sort of advertised as what sounds like a Lucozade alternative. This is their blurb. Refreshing isotonic recovery drink. Provides the body with essential vitamins such as folic acid and vitamin B12, which helps fatigue, promotes energy-yielding metabolism, and supports the immune system. Just one bottle of Erdinger Alcoholfrei is a daily contribution to a healthy nutrition. That's probably the most awesome thing I've ever heard, so let's get to trying these. We're going to start off with the Becks. I haven't got high hopes really for this one. I've had Becks before, don't really like it, find it very bland. So this one's listed as an alcohol-free, and on the back of the label it says it's no more than 0.05% ABV. Yeah, it's really not that great. There's no real taste. It's got a bit of sourness. There's no aroma. It tastes very artificial. Not really getting a sugary hit, but it does feel very watered down. Then again, I'm not really a fan of Becks, so this might just taste like Becks. Onto the Bavaria. Now this is a Vit Beer, which we covered in a previous episode. I'm going to pour it in a glass just so you can see the colour. You might be able to see through the bottle there that it's completely opaque, as it should be. Let's have a look. See, already that's a great, really, really thick, dense, strawy Vit Beer colour. Smells fantastic. Oh, wow. Wow. Really fruity, a little bit of a sour aftertaste, very sweet. Although it's not a lingering sweetness, because that sourness does take over. That is a delicious beer. It does taste a little artificial at times because it is so sweet, but it's lovely. Okay, the Clausthaler. This is just your classic lager once again. most popular across the whole of Europe. It's quite an unusual flavour. There's a lot of barley in there, but the flavour does go away quite quickly. You've got to keep drinking it to remember what it tastes like. It's definitely not that bland. It's got that barley taste, a little bit of apple sweetness coming in there. These non-alcoholic beers so far have been very sweet. That's quite nice. It's very wheaty compared with the Becks. The Becks was just literally water with a beer jelly bean in it. This actually could pass as a regular beer. Oh, I'm so gassy. Burp! Okay, the BrewDog. Now, I love BrewDog's beers. 5am Saint, Punk IPA. It's not there. Punk IPA. I love them, and we're going to do a whole episode on them sometime soon. So, I don't know what to expect from this one. This is the only ale I've actually got among these. There's a lot of hops in it. There's 5 different hops. It's dry hopped. I'm expecting it to be a sort of a burst of hop flavour, which will probably be quite nice, because it would be quite bland otherwise. Wow. Whoa. Oh, that's hoppy. Wow. Oh, there's a little bit of coffee in there. That's delicious. Hasn't got the depth of flavour that you get with something that's got loads and loads of hops in, but it's got a nice smoky coffee. Not too bitter, but not too sweet either. What is nice is to know that something this hoppy, which usually I'd associate with something that's going to make me pass out after half an hour, is only 0.5%. If this was on tap, I'd probably happily order it. Erdinger Alcoholfrei. It's just so odd that on the label it even says isotonic vitamin-rich, reduced calories. Kind of tempted just to go for a run just holding this instead of a bottle of water. Oh, that's gross. Oh, that's not nice. Oh, that's so weird. That's an odd flavour. Thing is, you know, it's a wheat beer, and so you're not expecting hoppiness, which is good, because none of the normal beers have been particularly hoppy. But it's just, there's something weird about it. It's got a sort of bitterness to it. It's not sweet, but at the same time it is. It feels like they've just chucked loads of sugar in it. It does kind of like Lucozade sometimes feels. The worst one by a long way is the Becks Blue. Doesn't taste of anything, doesn't even attempt to taste of anything. It's just sweet, it's bland, it's dull, it's wet, it's gross. Coming up second, worst, it's got to be the Erdinger Weiss beer. Alcohol-frei. It's just an unusual thing. I don't quite understand what they're trying to do, what market they're trying to appeal to. The sports market, people that care about their calorie intake but also want something vitamin-rich. It's weird. It's not a pleasant flavour, and I really don't like it. But I really do like Erdinger's normal beers. Next up, we've got the Clausthaler. It's a nice lager. It is nice. It's got a nice flavour. And then it's between the Bavaria Vit Beer and the BrewDog. I just don't know. They're completely different beers. The BrewDog is a delicious, smoky, coffee, hoppy beer, and it's staying true to form for one of my favourite breweries. But this Vit Beer is just weird. It's so nice. If we're judging it on closest to alcoholic beers, then I think the Vit Beer's got to have it. It really does have that Vit Beer taste. It's got the look. It's got the head. It's got the sweetness, it's got the sourness, it's got the massive aroma. It's delicious. It is very, very good. And from as far as I know, the Bavaria brewery in Holland, solely brews non-alcoholic beer. I don't know what their other 0.0% normal lager is, but that Vit beer is delicious. The BrewDog is also very, very good, and I'd happily order it. It's been an interesting test. I hope you've enjoyed learning all about non-alcoholic beers. Don't knock them till you've tried them. And if you're out, or if you're in a beer shop, maybe try and get your hands on the 0.0% Bavaria Vit or the BrewDog Nanny State. They're both pretty good, and you won't be disappointed. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or follow us on Instagram. And of course, subscribe, comment and like. And I'll see you next time. For their uniformity over flavour, the characteristic that every beer drinker wants. Bland. This macro brewing, thank you, led to the international stereotype